Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." There comes a moment, often silent, unnoticed, when the weight of your own thoughts begins to drown you. And it's not the world that is pulling you under. It is you. It is your worry, the constant ticking of what-ifs, the ghosts of imagined futures, the voices whispering doubts louder than reality itself. We wake up with it, sleep beside it, feed it. And sometimes, we even begin to believe it is us. But it isn't. Worry is a fog, and like all fogs, it pretends to be something solid. It tells you the storm is coming, even when the sky is clear. It tells you the world is collapsing, while it's still turning. It convinces you that the only way to survive is to prepare for every disaster, real or imagined. But here's the truth. You can never be prepared for everything. And the more you try, the more enslaved you become. Worry is not protection, it is prison. And as Epictetus said, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Let us pause here. Let us acknowledge what Stoicism knew long ago, what our modern age seems to have forgotten. Peace is not found in a world without trouble. Peace is found in a mind without unnecessary fear. We are not meant to live as hostages to every possible misfortune. We are not designed to walk this earth flinching at every possibility of pain. Yet, we do. And in doing so, we forget our strength. We forget that we were born to endure, to walk through fire, to carry burdens, to be unshakable, not because the world is easy, but because we have mastered ourselves. And the beginning of that mastery is this: we stop worrying. Part 1. The illusion of control. There is a great lie we're taught from the moment we're young, that if we try hard enough, we can control everything. Our future, our image, our outcomes. But the Stoics, cold and clear-eyed, know no such illusions. Marcus Aurelius, writing from the seat of an empire, knew better. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And we, if we are honest, know it too. We try to manipulate the future like clay in our hands. We overthink every decision. We rehearse conversations that will never happen. We live two lives at once, the real one and the one inside our heads. And for what? To feel safe? Control is comforting, but control is not truth. What we really need is courage. The courage to face a world that won't always go our way. The courage to meet chaos with calm. The courage to accept reality and not lose our dignity in the process. Worry is the enemy of that courage. Worry is a refusal to accept that some things are not ours to command. Seneca said it best: wild animals run from the dangers they actually see, and once they have escaped them, they worry no more. We, however, are tormented alike by what is past and what is to come. So let us stop chasing the illusion. Let us stop bargaining with the future. Let us meet life as it comes, with a steady gaze, with a calm heart, with a mind trained in fire. Because when we stop worrying about controlling the outcome, we finally begin to control ourselves.
Part 2. What worry steals from us. Worry is a thief, but unlike other thieves, it doesn't break in under the cover of darkness. It is already inside the house. It speaks with your voice. It walks in your thoughts. And slowly, silently, it steals the most valuable things you possess: your time, your presence, your clarity, your joy. Think for a moment, how much of your life have you already spent suffering events that never came? How many hours have you traded for shadows? And even when the things we fear do happen, what good did the worrying do? Did it prepare us, or did it only exhaust us before the battle had even begun? Seneca knew this suffering well. There are more things likely to frighten us than there are to crush us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. We imagine conversations where we're humiliated. We rehearse tragedies that haven't yet arrived. We create whole universes of disappointment and pain, all before taking a single step into the real world. But while we suffer, life slips away. Worry doesn't solve, it delays. It turns action into paralysis. It turns discipline into doubt. It turns purpose into panic. And still, we cling to it. Because worry gives us the illusion of control, as if thinking about the fire will prevent the house from burning. But all it really does is keep us from living. When you stop worrying, everything doesn't just start to go well. No, something more profound happens. You finally begin to live your life. Part 3. Training the mind like a warrior. We must not pretend that worry simply disappears. It is a habit, a reflex, a scar passed down from generations of survival. But like all instincts, it can be trained. The Stoics treated the mind like a blade, not something to be coddled, but something to be sharpened. They woke early. They practiced hardship. They meditated on loss. They rehearsed death. Why? To remind themselves of this one brutal truth. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Memento mori. Remember, you will die, and no amount of worry will stop that clock. So instead of fearing it, they learned to face it. This is how a true Stoic trains. We don't avoid discomfort. We seek it. We practice going without. We embrace hardship as preparation, not punishment. We ask ourselves, what if the worst happened? Would I still stand? Would I still act with virtue? Would I still remain me? Because here lies the core of it. The one thing you must never lose is your character, not your money, not your relationships, not even your health. These are externals. They come and go. But character, that is your fortress. And worry, if allowed to grow, is the termite that eats it from the inside out. So we train. We reflect. We strengthen the mind. And in doing so, we become warriors of thought, not controlled by worry, but commanders of it. Part 4. When you stop worrying, you become dangerous. Not in the reckless sense, but in the unshakable, unbreakable sense. When you no longer panic, people take notice. When you no longer flinch at life's punches, you begin to intimidate the chaos itself. You become someone who cannot be manipulated, someone who cannot be provoked by petty insults or shallow judgments, someone who walks calmly while others run in fear. And this calm, this stillness, it is not passive. It is power. It is the stillness of a seasoned general before the war, the poise of the archer before he releases, the breath before the dive. When you stop worrying, you reclaim your power. You no longer need to be the loudest. You no longer seek to be the most liked. You no longer chase validation. You stand. And the world, whether it loves you or hates you, cannot touch the place you found within yourself. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And when you stop worrying, you begin to master yourself. Not overnight, not without struggle, but with discipline, with repetition, with unwavering clarity about what matters and what does not. And slowly, you begin to change. not because the world got easier, but because you got stronger. Part 5. The end of worry, the beginning of freedom. Let us now return to the beginning. We began with a question wrapped in a truth. When you stop worrying, everything starts to go well. Not because the external world suddenly changes, not because fate becomes kinder, not because your life magically unfolds without hardship. No. Things begin to go well because you begin to go well, because your internal climate stabilizes, because your mind becomes the anchor, not the storm. This is the secret Stoicism never shouted, but always lived. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." The battlefield was never outside. The enemy was never the world. The war was always within you. And now, you've seen it. You've stood on the front lines of your own anxiety. You've watched how worry distorts, delays, deceives. You've seen how it robs you of action, purpose, and peace. But you are not helpless. The Stoics did not wait for hope. They became it. Through the way they walked, through the way they endured, through the way they accepted everything, and still remained noble. When fire came, they didn't panic. They didn't cry to the gods for mercy. They simply whispered, "If this is the path, then I walk it." And that stillness, that poise, that quiet rage of self-discipline is where true freedom begins. We no longer ask the world to be safe. We ask ourselves to be strong. We no longer beg for comfort. We build our character until we can endure anything. We no longer cling to imagined disasters. We meet life on its own terms, fully awake, fully aware, fully in command. And in that, we find our peace. A peace that is earned, not given. A peace not dependent on circumstance, but built in the furnace of the soul.
Let us rise, not as people who hope to avoid pain, but as people who are no longer afraid of it. Let us stop wasting time on ghosts. Let us stop serving the tyranny of fear. Let us stop worrying. And in doing so, let us begin to live. Let us walk as the Stoics walked, not loudly, not boastfully, but with an iron mind and an invincible spirit. Because the world doesn't need more comfort seekers. It needs more Stoic souls, more calm in the chaos, more fire that doesn't burn out. And that can be us. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." So breathe deeply. Look around. Stand still in this moment. Not running from it, not wishing it were easier, but owning it entirely. And remember, when you stop worrying, everything starts to go well. Not because the world softens, but because you harden, because you rise, because you finally become free. I hope this video will be helpful for you. So connect with us after subscribing the channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you for watching.